passionate about this subject. He's got a lot going on. He constantly has about 400 things going through that giant brain box of his, right? And he's come together, put together a few words. I'd like you all to put your hands together and give an absolutely sincere and awesome welcome to Mike Bailey, goodfordogs.org.
Thanks, Brad. Over the last month or so, I've been a bit quiet. I originally got involved with Victoria's new breed bans in 2010. And when I started out, the big issue I saw... Does anyone mind if I use my umbrella? For the microphone set. So when I got involved in 2010, in October 2009... Oh, that's okay, I got it. So in October 2009, a guy called Eric in Reservoir got bitten on the hand by a dog that attacked his dog and killed one of his dogs tragically. He was bitten on the hand and arm when he was trying to break up the fight. And if I was in that position where my dog was killed and my other dog was being attacked, I'd be fighting for its life, and I wouldn't be I'd be doing anything to save my dogs. What we had as a result of that was Hugh Worth from the RSPCA going on radio, on the internet, everywhere saying these dogs must all be destroyed. And we ended up with the Domestic Animals Amendment Dangerous Dogs Bill 2010. And most of what we're seeing now is that finally coming into play. The recent laws that have been brought in have really just been the approval of a standard for identifying these dogs. So in 2010 I got involved through goodfordogs.org, looking at the actual proposed legislation and what's wrong with it. Nobody told me there was nothing wrong with biddies. I had no idea, and I've been, a dog lover for all my life, and I've been active, and people weren't telling me, nobody was telling me that there was nothing wrong with these dogs. They were just dogs. They weren't all evil. And so the main problem I saw was the standard, identifying these dogs. The idea of using a breed standard that if it's got a bricky-shaped head and if it's got short coat and if it's got all of these other things which many crossbred dogs and many other breeds of dogs will have, how are you going to identify them? The Staffy Labs that you see in these shelters, how are they going to get rehomed when there's a risk that the shelter can be shut down for selling a restricted breed dog? And what we saw about a month ago was the Lost Dogs Home in Melbourne accusing the RSPCA of rehoming restricted breed dogs under different names. Now what I would say is that the Lost Dogs Home, similarly, are killing dogs as restricted breed dogs that aren't. It goes both ways. When there's a question mark there, for one to call the other and point them out, I was disgusted to read in the Herald Sun that there was a dog on the internet called Florence. And the Herald Sun said that industry experts had told them that Florence, advertised as a 2-year-old American Staffordshire, was actually a pit bull. When I looked at about 11 AM, Florence had been taken off the website. And if you look at websites now of shelters around Victoria, you won't see dogs that fall into a grey area. You won't see them. You're seeing less and less. Now, I've recently become involved with a Victorian shelter. And yesterday we had a whole bunch of people coming and saying, the dog in pen number 5, the puppy, it's great, what's the story? And we had to tell them, we have to kill that dog. That dog looks like a pit bull. And if it fits the standard, we have to kill it. And that's the hardest thing. So across Victoria, there are dogs who, we don't know the parents of the dogs, we don't know the owners. So what are we meant to do when the government says that if the dog falls within this standard, we have to kill it? And these are dogs who, we need to be defending those dogs as well, not just our own dogs, but the dogs that don't have owners. Now, Victorians are dog lovers, and what I've found also at the dog park is people going, oh yeah, those pit bulls, and they're extending it to staffies, because no one knows what a pit bull looks like. So we've had people in the park saying, oh, there was a staffy here the other day, it was a 12-year-old puppy, and a 12-week-old puppy. 12-year-old puppy and staffies, they're different. They just come straight up to dogs' faces, and other dogs sense it, that they're different. And they come straight up to dogs' faces, and this dog, it was just being too boisterous with another dog. And I said, well, are you going to tell me something about a man of a particular race that did something that you saw? We're getting, anecdote does not make for science. And there is no science to say that any breed of dog is more likely to attack a person or a human. Now, the government know this. And the government has made policy to respond to public perceptions. I don't believe that the government's going to change this while the public believe that these dogs are dangerous and while the public don't realise that other breeds are going to fall into this. So we really need to spread the message, and I think it's fantastic to see so many people standing in the rain on a cold Saturday I think it's really good. I think this is the start of something. And previously we haven't had this in Victoria. We haven't had people getting together. I think everyone should meet some other people, take down some phone numbers and build this up. I think I've spoken enough, so thank you very much for the opportunity to talk.